If you need me for anything, just buzz
All right,
down
we'll give
and
you a
I'll
call.
head back up.
All right,
Okay?
thanks, Leslie. All right, we'll call the meeting back to order, and there was no decisions made in executive session. And Dave, I believe we're ready for you.
Oh, my goodness.
Right on time.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Well, as always, we're on the airport commission trying to stay on top of the airport, keeping it as efficient as good. And you probably read in the paper, we did get the fuel pump, the credit card machine on the fuel pump, and it's working. And everything is going well. We do have a maintenance item that we need to take care of, and so that's why I'm here, is to get the okay, if you okay it, for some repair work on the north end of the runway. This winter was really harsh on runways. I talked to Olson's, and they had 5 calls one day about runways. And what has taken place is there's moisture underneath there, and I think anytime you've taken concrete out or anything else, it's always wet underneath. It evidently, moisture comes up somehow, or possibly there's a kind of a spring or something under areas or whatever. But we had one area where the runway heaved from one section to the other, and it was across the runway. It wasn't down the sides, it was across.
How much did it heave?
Just under 2 inches, which is quite a bit.
Guess if you're landing a plane.
That's on the north end at
Yeah.
fairly slow speeds.
It is, and actually it's right at the area, we have the displaced threshold, which is, there's 200 foot here with arrows that go to this area. You're able to take off on that area, but you can't land on that area. So, and it's right on the end of that. So, and it's funny, right after, the frost leaves, it settles back down, and I haven't been out to look if it's exactly even, but it's, I could feel it on our plane quite a bit. And we've got, pretty good sized tires. If you had a small plane with a little tire, it would be quite a bump at nearly 2 inches.
Does that affect the one that comes in for EMS? Does that affect it?
It really hasn't. They've got big enough tires, and it was not. It didn't affect them that they never said anything, and we didn't feel like it was any safety issue at the time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Has it become a safety issue for safe operation?
I don't think it has at that point in time, but it's real close.
Might get worse
Yeah.
before it gets better.
So, from what I read then, the fix would be to place a possible drain under that area?
Yes, and they did do it on the north end, I'm sorry, on the south end of the runway when we put that part in, because that was a second stage of the new runway.
That's part of the original plan, apparently.
Right, but the north end evidently wasn't. I don't know why. It should have probably been, but they didn't feel like there was a problem there.
When you repair it, do you have to close down the airport for a
Yes.
certain amount of time?
Yep,
And how long is that?
it's probably going to be 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
But what we'll do is, time it to where it's not going to bother any of the aerial sprayers, and
That's
then,
what I was gonna-
of course, the air ambulance will have to be notified.
But this is pretty much a problem that's prevalent during the winter.
Yes, Yep.
So we've got a little time here before it starts freezing the ground again to.
we do. But the grant, of course, to repair this, and I'm the one who went out and counted the, what do they call them, 12-foot sections, and so I could have overcounted Olson's Associates when, if you agree to go ahead and do the project, then they will come out and look at it and make sure that we're doing what is right.
So they're going to be the overseers of the project.
Yes, yeah. And of course, this would be an FAA grant. It'd be 90-10, local 10. I actually counted just under 50 of the 12-foot sections that might need replaced.
Eventually.
Well, no, with this project,
Oh, geez.
yeah. And see, 1,000 foot down the runway are the 1,000-foot markers, which are white landing strips. If you shoot an instrument approach, it takes you to those 1,000-foot markers. So there are cracks in those, and then these drains that they're talking about putting in should help get some of that moisture away. I mean, it can't go down through to get there. It's got to be coming underneath, and I can't tell you if there's a spring under there. I don't know why and
Kind
what.
of odd place up there on the hill, but
Well, just like the swimming pool up here, nobody knew there was a spring under there.
Yeah. And it could be, just the type of soil that holds the moisture or maybe pulls it in where these drains are. The way I understand it, they're kind of every so often down the runway. It's kind of a rock or a gravel thing to where it helps pull the moisture away from the runway and put it down the side of the drains. So anyway, what I'm here for, this is big, $618,000 project. Local, 61,000.
60,000.
FAA is 556,000. And it might not be that big a deal. It might not be quite that big, but it is going to be big. I mean, but the main thing we got to do is maintain it, keep it going. We do have the money in the capital improvement fund,
That was
So-
going to be my next question.
so we're okay there. I hate spending money, but
Yeah, but we have an obligation to keep that safe anyway.
yeah,
And like I say, it won't get better by itself.
No.
It'll get worse.
and it could be when Olson's get here and look at it, it could be smaller. It won't be any bigger than that. But
Is
it
there
definitely
any
could be
way
smaller.
before we commit, or you commit,
Mm-hmm.
to have Olson's come out and do the inspection and say, hey, this is what I think we're looking at, and have a dollar amount tied to it?
Well, we do actually, where I looked at it, and I said, they told me, they says, well, go out and look and see what ones are cracked.
Oh, I see.
And so what they were trying to do was get a maximum amount. And so, I mean, we can do that if you want.
No, I was just-
The FAA, for next year, they've been calling and pushing to get it submitted.
Is there any cost to have them look at it?
Oh, no. Well, they'll come out and look at it.
In your opinion, does it matter if they look at it, or it's got to be done anyway?
In my opinion, no, it doesn't matter, because they're not going to do any more than what needs done. And I didn't push it to have them come out and look, simply because I wanted a maximum amount. I don't want to come in here and say, suddenly, it's $100,000 more. I wanted a maximum amount. If it's less, that's just
That's great.
better.
So this will be done in 2020.
Yes. Probably in the August, September time range. And try to get everything done to where it would be, concrete's going to take 2 weeks to dry anyway. So probably in the, get them there, get it all the materials there and everything in 2 to 3 weeks, be down, and then open back up.
Well, it sounds like a project that we pretty well got to go forward with, keep this thing going.
That's the way I see it too.
So I guess what I need is a vote from you guys to apply for the grant, and a vote from you guys to say if the grant, because that's kind of way we've kind of got this set up. that if the grant is approved, to go on with the project. So that's kind of that's what I'm asking for.
So what I need is a motion to go ahead and approve Dave to make the grant application and to move forward on this project for 2020.
Right.
Do you need a vote for each one?
Let's,
I kind of think we should. Let's get it in the minutes and so.
need somebody to make a motion to go ahead and allow Dave to go forward with applying for the grant.
I'll make a motion that you go ahead and apply for the grant.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. And then the second one would be to go ahead and utilize this grant money for the repairs necessary
Correct.
to the runway.
I'll make a motion that you can utilize that money for the repairs of the runway.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Could you inform me when you're having your airport meetings?
Yeah.
I'd kind of like to attend.
Yeah.
And I would have went to the last one, but I didn't know anything about it.
Okay, somebody had told you. Do you have an email?
Yes, I do.
Can I get that?
Willis Bird 9,
Okay,
WILLIS Bird 9 at gmail.com.
Does he have his Gmail account set?
You guys just have the,
Right, do you have your Gmail account set up? I get notifications.
you get them, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get them, Roger? Do you have a,
I don't have one.
okay.
I usually forward them to you.
That's what I was asking, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
know I get them.
Because we make sure we get them, Scott's on that list, so.
You guys start way too early for me.
Well, we always say it's going to be a 20-minute meeting and it's always 2
Yeah, never,
hours.
yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Okay, I appreciate your time and,
So, like we said, we don't, but probably if it goes over that amount, we're probably gonna have to make sure we've got enough money in the.
Well, we'll have to take a good
fund.
look at it when, budget time in August to make sure that
right.
it's in there and in place.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If,
Well,
you know, the odds of it being over that,
Oh,
probably
yeah.
not
our-
gonna
our-
happen, but
But they're gonna
Right.
fix it this fall, right?
Pardon me?
Be
This
next-
fall or next fall?
Next fall. So will have to make sure we get the money transferred over at the end of the year. I did check, and there is sufficient funds, more than sufficient,
Okay.
in the capital improvement fund.
So it'll be like this all through next winter then?
Yes.
And does it have a crack in it?
It's weird. It's right on a seam. Actually, I've got a picture of it on my phone if you want to
I
see.
wondered, would it do any good to at least caulk that?
That's what's that?
Would it do any good to at least caulk that joint?
No. I mean, it's just
Because
going
it's
to,
frost.
Because he didn't think it's coming through the top, it's coming up from the bottom. So
Right.
if you crack seal it,
Might make it worse.
you might.
okay, right here. Here was, I took a picture of where it was heaving up.
Wow, that is-
And it's just under 2 inches. Then, right there is across the runway, and that's the place where it is, right on a seam.
Wow.
And then I took a picture down the runway. And then here is the other, which is counted into here too. That's those 1,000-foot marks. There's a crack down across it, and that was up, I didn't measure it, but a good inch, if not more. It was, that's why there's got to be moisture getting under there. See these, well, if you can see, there's a couple of these have already been replaced once. And that's why that Olson was thinking that this needed to be done with these drains, these box drains or whatever they call them anyway. And I do think that there's some like perforated pipe that they put in there that's right off the runway underground, with gravel on it. And then that, pulls that moisture and runs it out.
Kind of a box drain.
Yeah, box drain system. And that would be done on the whole Well, it'd be the 3,100 foot of the north end of the runway, so it'd be a good chunk of the runway, so. Whoop. So, anyway,
How many years ago was that put in? I mean, that's the old section.
right,
It's not the new.
right. See, that's probably 5 years, 5, 6 years?
Well, that's not very long.
No, it's not.
That's almost like something wasn't done right.
Well, the south, I get my ends mixed up. The south end is, does have those drains in it. And, concrete's gonna crack. No matter how good a job you do, you're gonna get cracks in it. And there are some cracks, but nothing to, that heaves or nothing to worry about. So whether maybe there's not moisture at that end, or the box drains are doing their job.
But you're exactly right. It all determines what your base is, what kind of soil's under that base. It's the same problem we have with the streets and roads.
Yeah,
If you have good solid base, you're going to have good solid.
yeah,
But if your base fades away,
yeah.
so does the road.
It's a booger. And I know at the shop, we've had concrete put in and it cracks. You just,
This soil's just not firm enough. There's not enough clay in it.
yeah. And then when it gets a little saturated, then it freezes and something's gonna give when that little freeze got a lot of power to it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we
right,
will
Dave.
carry on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Take a break. Or you
Yeah,
wanna get
let's
her-
take a 10-minute break and we'll give Eric a chance to get down here.
Is he wanting to find out about that money or what?
Who, Eric?
Yeah.
I don't have any idea.
No, it's someone else.
I read it. Can't remember now.
What are we gonna do with the high plains?
I don't know that you can promise them anything
No, I
until
don't
we
think-
get to do them.
With what?
Yeah. Let's get this shut off.
The high plains.
Oh,